Hey guys, welcome back to Black Sheep Meadow. I'm Brent.
And I'm Amber. And today is a beautiful day on the Black Sheep Meadow. And it's Texas, so the weather's been kind of sporadic. We just had a couple days of very wet, cold, very winter-like days for Texas. And now it is very spring-like, so we've been running around like crazy people trying to prep stuff for spring. And this evening, we're going to build our carrot bed, which is just the same as our onion bed.
Correct. The carrot bed was built just the same way as the onion bed. We didn't want to film all of that for y'all, just waste a bunch of your time. So if y'all want, y'all can go back and look at the onion bed video. But this is built in the exact same form and fashion where we got wood chips, compost, and topsoil on top of it. And today we're going to talk about some of the failures that we've had with growing carrots in the past.
We've had a little bit of a struggle. I mean, we've grown carrots and they've been delicious and great, but carrots, because they're such a tiny seed, they are very delicate in germination, and they're very light. So, you know, the smaller the seed, the shallower it's planted, right? So you can't cover them up, so they're not as protected.
They need to be covered a little, but not a lot.
Right, I mean, it's a very little. I mean, it's like a dusting over them. And then if it rains, they'll pool, so they'll actually float and move. So they'll pool around, and then you have like this bunch of carrots that you either have to painstakingly thin, or you get like little knots of carrots that are like tied together and look funny.
Yeah.
They still taste good. But this year, we're trying to improve upon that. So like we said, make this year a little bit better than last. That's kind of our motto. So we've got this cool little contraption.
Yeah, we don't even know what it's called, but it is it works great for making little divvies in the soil for planting carrots.
Make little divvies so that way they'll have a place to sit, and they hopefully won't spread or pile together.
And then I'm going to build basically a temporary greenhouse over this garden bed, and this temporary greenhouse is going to be here for the next 3 to 4 weeks. That's going to get us right to the later part of March before we take this greenhouse off. That's going to be 4 weeks of after germination for the carrots to take root. One of the other problems that we've had in the past is the germination of the carrot failing because too much of the soil on top dries out way too fast. Right. As you know, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch down the soil after a 24-hour period, the soil underneath is actually still wet, but everything on top is where the seed is dry. If that seed begins to germinate and dries out, the germ is going to fail. So keeping that seed moist with this temporary greenhouse over the top of it for the first 3 weeks is going to give it just long enough to start taking root. Once that taproot of that carrot starts to tap down, it's going to stay at a moisture level that will sustain the plant and ultimately give you a better crop.
And there's a bunch of people, so we're obviously, this is a very large bed.
I think this bed is 4 foot by 16 foot long. 4
by 16. There are a lot of ways that people will germinate carrots outside of direct sow, but on this scale, that would be very, very time consuming, a lot of space. I mean,
Correct.
There's the paper towel trick.
The paper towel and the plastic bag.
And the plastic bag, and you can do that, but we figured on this scale, that would be insane.
And if y'all haven't watched any of our other videos, y'all should probably know for 2023, we're trying to grow 80% of all of our own food here. And as far as my math and my calculations, what I'm projecting, I need to grow 150 pounds of carrots. So we have to do that on a very large scale now.
Which means I'm going to be processing a lot of carrots here pretty soon. But we've got 5 different varieties of carrots that we're planting. You can tell that Amber found the seed aisle at Impulse buys. They're a rainbow mix and kaleidoscope carrots. So I figure I want my food to be fun. So then we got Atomic Reds, which I don't know, you purchased these, I think.
From Wilhite. We purchase a lot of seeds from Wilhite Seed. They're a Texas-based seed company. And
Poolville, Texas. They do. The only thing, my only complaint with them is that their bags are not resealable. So we will open these. Imperial 58. Correct. Is that just a...
No, Emperor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Emperor 58 carrot? What is that just a orange?
Yeah, it's an orange carrot. I don't remember exactly offhand. The ones that I'm after are actually the...
I'm sorry, it's 4 different kinds because Brent ordered this many.
Yeah.
And then he ordered this many.
Basically, I have a 1/4 pound of carrot seeds.
Plus a half ounce.
Imperator 58 carrots. So
yeah, so we've got plenty of those, and we're gonna take you guys along as we make this temporary greenhouse.
We'll get us on
I'm going to put it on time lapse.
On a time lapse, so and then we'll step back and actually go over in detail over the plastic sheeting and the greenhouse structure that we built over the top of the bed.
We'll get to that part.
Y'all hang in there. Watch it. Let's grow some carrots.
Yum.
All right, guys, we're going to get y'all in a little close-up on exactly how we get the seeds in the little, I don't know what you'd call these. They're not, they're holes.
They're little divvies.
Little divvies in the soil.
And it's just a place for the seeds to rest.
Yeah, but if we look here.
And we're just kind of.
We're just getting
a few
one or two in each one.
Kind of just sprinkling it over the top.
You just got to remember, you don't want the carrot seeds too deep. They need to be fairly shallow. They're very delicate and they're not very strong to be able to bust the surface of the soil. Matter of fact, we're not even going to cover these seeds with soil. We're just going to use the water from our first irrigation to let the soil just barely cover them up. We'll get y'all back on time lapse. Alrighty guys, so we got our carrots planted, Amber got them irrigated. I built this very basic, simple square frame structure over the top of the bed. It's approximately 8 to 10 inches above the soil level. We're going to take a 3.5 mil clear plastic sheeting that we got from Home Depot. I believe it's 10 foot wide by 25 foot long. We're going to drape it over the top of this wooden frame, and we're just going to use regular T50 staples to staple the plastic down to the wooden frame. We might even lay a 2x4 on either side just so the wind doesn't blow the plastic up. So we're going to get that done, and we'll sit back with y'all one last time.
And we're back.
Yep. So just a little quick run over. We got the seeds in. We have the wooden frame is actually 1x2 strips. I think they're actually going to measure 5/8 by 1.5. And then we put a 3.5 mil plastic that basically covered all edges, and I stapled it to the wooden frame. The plastic is only going to be on this bed for approximately 3 to 4 weeks. We'll see what the weather's like come late March. I think Amber, for her little garden tool here, she's going to leave a link in the description for what this is, what they call it. We have no idea what it's called. We've had it several years now.
I got it, and I've used it multiple times. It works really, really well for making little divots for your seeds, for seed spacing. It'll even do trenches.
And
it's kind of heavy.
This isn't going to be our only carrot bed. This is just probably going to be our primary carrot bed. We actually took a little bit of our extra carrot seed and put it in the hugelkultur mound. And and also as well as, I don't know when the plastic does come off this bed. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to put a automatic irrigation on it or if I'm just going to irrigate as needed. I'm probably just going to irrigate as needed. The bed retains moisture really well.
Yeah, so, it's all going to depend on the weather. If we have a summer like we did last year, we're going to have to irrigate it.
Last year was rough. So
before we started planting, I found that we had bought some different seeds, so we ended up planting more than what we had thought are different types. Some short and sweets like me,
yep.
And a couple other ones that I found. So we've got.
And we're still going to put those in our other beds as well,
yep.
Right?
So now I'm going to go document it down in my book.
Yep.
And we are going to start on dinner.
Yep.
And I'm actually going to make some carrots that we harvested last year.
I was going to say, what are you making tonight?
I'm making steak.
Really?
Steak, potatoes, and carrots.
Really? From last year's crop.
From last year's crop, yep.
That means I need to get the pit started.
You need to get the pit started.
So we got a few busy weeks coming up here. We're already in the middle of February. Next weekend is actually going to be President's Day on Monday. So it's going to be time for us to get the potatoes in the ground.
Potatoes will go in the ground next weekend.
We're going to do a few experiments for y'all on that.
Yeah, we have a couple different beds and styles and...
Correct. I'm going to actually do some cut potatoes versus whole potatoes. We're going to measure out 5 pounds of each and then see what our yield is to see if actually slicing or cutting potatoes is going to generate a higher yield. Yep. That's always a huge discussion on many gardening forums on potatoes, so we're just going to put that to the test. And then I think after that, what do we have? It's probably going to be really close to getting the rest of our containers going. And
we started on that today. We're refreshing the containers, but we still have like, what, 50 more containers to build?
Probably. I got about 50, I think it's 57 containers I still have to build.
So we have quite a few containers to still build. Get those set up and irrigated.
Our first round of meat birds will be here at the 1st of March.
Yes, the first week in March, the first round of meat birds will be here. And then in June, we have turkeys.
And some more, our second round of meat birds, 6 more Buff Orpingtons and 4 turkeys.
And turkeys.
And then here in the next week or two, some of this, I don't know if y'all can see it behind you here.
Probably not. It's behind the outhouse.
We are going to remove some native, well, I say native, there are a bunch of just scrub brush trees that are over here. The trees that were already on this property that we didn't plant. It's really brushy vines. We've got some grapes over here as well. Some, I believe those are Mustang grapes.
Mustang grapes.
And we're going to plant some fruit trees. Behind y'all here, we have, I think, 5 or 6 more fruit trees that we're going to try and plant to start another orchard over here. It's right next to our wild plums.
And it should be good here. It's next to the garden. It's close to water, so if we need to irrigate it, we can set up an automatic irrigator for the fruit trees.
Correct.
And we've got several, mostly apples, but some peaches.
Correct. We might even do some pear trees too. I haven't decided on that.
But that's also where we have some wild dewberries, which fantastic.
They make awesome pies.
They make awesome anything with them, but they're wild. They've been here. They're great. So they're over there too.
So y'all ready for? I guess we're ready to start dinner tonight, huh?
We are. So
let's get after it.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let us know if you have any questions. Until then, do all the things.
Like, comment, share,
subscribe,
ring the little bell.
Ring the bell so you'll get notifications when we post another video. If you haven't seen it yet, the video that posted today was the meat processing.
Correct. Yeah, that was actually quite a long video, and it's got several chapters in it.
It's got I figured out how to do that on YouTube. That was fun. But it has a chapter so you can reference it. But Jason did an awesome job explaining in detail how that hog gets broke down to commercial cuts. So very helpful reference video. Go check it out.
In the meantime, we'll see y'all next week.
We'll see you next week.